Okay, it is 12:03 and we will get started because I know y'all have lots of things to do. So I want to thank you guys so much for coming to this developmental screening summer webinar series first session. Today we're going to be talking about the developmental screening toolkit and walking through what it looks like and how to use it. Today is our first 30-minute session, and I hope that you all have registered for the additional ones as well. That would be wonderful to see you all there. My name is Dr. Teresa Northington, and I am the Developmental Screening Coordinator here at the Bureau of Family Health, and I'll be the one facilitating today's webinar. So to get started, we're going to walk through the steps for locating the toolkit on the website, some of its components, and we'll see how to find and use its resources. Thanks again for coming. We're going to get started. Okay. So what is the toolkit? Let's begin with that. The toolkit is an amazing and robust tool that provides providers and practitioners with easy to use guidance on how to begin to implement developmental screening in their settings, along with the supports, materials, and resources to assist along the way. The Developmental Screening Toolkit is a comprehensive, step-by-step, clear, outlined implementation guide for practices to follow. It is easy to use and provides screening tool information, instructional training videos, as well as recordings posted from previous webinars and series. If you're looking for a way to implement screenings but unsure where to start, what to use, where to find guidance and resources, the Developmental Screening Toolkit is like a one-stop shop. It provides downloadable resources, links for your screening implementation efforts, as well as quality improvement projects via the step-by-step guided process and process mapping features. On the screen, you'll see to the left a snapshot of what the toolkit homepage looks like. At any point during the presentation, I'll have the QR code at the bottom of the screen, so you'll be able to just kind of hover over it with your phone and scan it, and it'll take you right to the toolkit homepage. Now that we've seen what the toolkit, or we've talked about a little bit what the toolkit is, let's take a look at where we can find it. To locate the toolkit, you can scan the QR code down there where it says Scan Me, or you can always visit the website via the link on the screen. If you by chance are just on the Louisiana Department of Education, or I'm sorry, Department of Health site, you can access it by going to Louisiana Department of Health, then clicking on Public Health, the homepage there, going to Family Health, clicking on the Bureau of Family Health, next, Programs, Developmental Screening Initiative, and then you can click right on the Developmental Screening Toolkit homepage. Lots of steps, but just wanted to make sure you're able to access it from different ways. So those are two ways that you can access the toolkit homepage. As you'll see on the left side, that's what the toolkit kind of looks like. Once you navigate to the actual homepage, you'll see the Bureau of Family Health at the top, and then the steps at the bottom with training and support and resources to the right. Now that we've reached the homepage, we can navigate through the various components. So at the beginning of the page, you'll see the Developmental Screening Toolkit with just a little bit of a description of what it is, a little bit in more detail, so you can see if this is something that would be right for you and your practice and your team. It contains usage steps, training and support, and resources once again. Now that we found it, let's take a look at what it's actually made up of. What are the components? So as you can see, the toolkit is set up to be a three-part process. The first step is to assess the capacity and to create a plan. This step is the first step of the BFH toolkit, And it provides great information on how to form a team. For many practices looking to start and implement developmental screening, this is the perfect place to start. During step 1, the BFH team will work with providers and also staff and teams to assess the capacity to screen, the roles needed in order to create a successful screening process and workflow. So we basically are just trying to make sure that the team that you have, that we assess all of the team members' strengths, areas of need, what kind of capacity you have to actually implement screening presently, and what you might need to carry out whatever the mission or whatever the goal it is that you have for screenings in your practice. So we'll go through 4 outlined roles, but we can also kind of customize the capacity and the plan for your particular for your team. So no need to worry. Whatever you have, we can definitely customize a plan for that, for what you have at your practice currently. At this stage, we also have tips to engage staff members, role descriptions, and even includes tips for engaging staff members in new and modified roles. So sometimes if you have a need for just kind of a way to buy in those who are on your staff, and maybe you want to make sure that they understand the importance of screening and the whole process and why it's being implemented into your practice, we have some tip sheets and things that we can go over as well to kind of get that buy-in and to increase that morale and motivate team members to really want to screen and be a part of the process. Next is step 2, and step 2 is where we engage with you to train the team. And this looks like training the staff members who will be a part of the process of screening on the different screening tools, as well as how to implement and score those tools. Once staff positions and the process for planning have been completed, we can train the team. As the toolkit is fully customizable, we can train the team on specific training tools and practices that you may already use, but maybe you need some refreshers or would like to train new staff or train staff on how to score those tools. We can do that, or we can also train the team on new tools and how to utilize those tools in your practice. On the screen, you'll see the Louisiana Developmental Screening Guidelines table, which indicates which recommended screening tools to use for each screening domain. On the left, you'll find the domains, which are general development, autism, perinatal depression, social emotional, and barriers to health. And then on the right side, you'll find the recommended training tool or instrument that is recommended by the Louisiana AAP, as well as the information on kind of underneath what each of those tools and domains are. And all of these things, you can click on them and they are very interactive on the website, and they will take you straight to each of those domains. Step 3 is the part of the process where we bring out the PDSA worksheet. This is like the part where it's the actionable items, actually putting that carefully crafted plan into action, into motion, testing it out and refining it to work for your practice and your team. So step 1, you kind of assess what you contain, what your goals are, and create those positions and those roles to accomplish that goal. Step 2 is where we're going to train the team on the practices and the screening tools that will best fit for your practice in your goal for implementation and screening. And then step 3 is where we put that plan into action and we go over what it's going to look like, how it's going to be done, and we kind of test it out. But a really great part to this part of the plan or the process is that it's it's not just we do it once and then we see what happens, but that it can be also refined, it can be modified. So once we create that plan, we do all of the steps and we come back to it and we say, you know what, I think it would be best if we tried it this way, we start it all over again. So this is a really crucial step in the process because it not only allows for review and reflection, but it also can be a point to recreate and to modify for possible different outcomes or better outcomes for your practice. And also to mention that this form is also downloadable, but it can also be a fillable PDF available through the website as well. Okay. The next component to the website, the toolkit, is the implementation training and support form. This is a crucial part of the process as it's the initial step. So when you are ready to get the ball rolling, you can start by filling out this form to begin the process of accessing the toolkit training process at no additional cost to your practice, which is really great. A lot of practices kind of may be looking for ways to train and ways to get their staff better equipped to complete these screenings in the process, and may shy away from it due to associated costs. But this policy and this process is absolutely free for your practice through the Bureau of Family Health, and we're here to help you in any way possible. But it all starts with this training and implementation support form. And on the form here, you can also let us know what you're interested in. If maybe it's not the whole part of the process, but you just may want the screening tool information, that's perfectly fine. This is a great way for practices, providers, social workers, nurses, whomever, to just kind of get that information and that need out to us. And so please don't shy away from it if you feel like you may not need the full practice, but maybe you want part of step one, you can let us know that through this form, or you just maybe want some feedback on the processes that you already have. Or step three, we can do that as well. So whatever you're looking for, you can leave that information here on the implementation training and support form, and it will come directly to me, and we can get the ball rolling that way. Next part of our toolkit are the resources. Resources are absolutely wonderful here because they provide a lot of information and a lot of resources, referral contact information that have already been researched. So one of those is our regional resource guides. These guides were created to help providers refer families to relevant services and share screening related resources. So as you can see on the map here, they are divided by regions around the state, and they are a three-part resource that you'll see a little bit later in the presentation, but provide an immense amount of contact information and support that can be duplicated to hand out right in your practice. So no need to go looking for and creating your own. We have done the work and created those for you already. In addition to that, we also have a a video on how to use the resource guides with families. So if you're not exactly sure, you see this great resource, but you want to know exactly how to use it, you can take a look at the training video and it will show you exactly how to use them, what's located, what information on each form, and how to explain it to families as well. So now we've reached the resource part of the toolkit. There you go. So of course, once again, our first resource is that implementation and training and support form that gets everything going. And I just also want to mention that if you have any additional questions or you want to seek assistance in other areas such as care coordination, youth health transition, and pediatric or perinatal mental health, you can also use this form here to do that and to request assistance as well. So this is kind of a one-stop shop here for a lot of the programs we have here at BFH, Bureau of Family Health. So we have our implementation training support form, fill this out, comes directly to us. We get started by contacting you to set up a meeting to just kind of go over what was stated on there to get your process customized and ready for you. We have those regional resource guides, and this is, I just want to give a little bit of a deeper look into what they actually look like. So the first form or resource guide here is specifically for autism. So if you are looking for resources to refer families who are interested in specifically autism related contact information, referral guide, or for referral links, you can direct them to this form specifically. It has those recommended resources, but it also has at the bottom public school system information, and to the left of the sheet it has family resources, as well as a couple of applications that families are able to download to assist them with milestone tracking, as well as get some activity ideas through the Vroom app and the Sesame Street and Autism application as well. The next form that's a part of it is the family wellness and related screens. So this one also contains tons of resources and links. First, it has those recommended resources by region, of course, and then underneath it has the Parish Health Unit and Human Services Authority information for that region, which includes about 5-6 parishes in the region. And then to the left again are those family resources. And these resources are a little bit different because they're directly related to family wellness and related screens. And our last sheet that's a part of the regional resource guide, three-part system here, is the general and social development guide. And this one also starts with those recommended resources and the public school system and human service authorities, but it also has that family aspect as well to the left with those same mobile applications, just to make sure that you have them on all pages. Another way that you can access some of those resources are through our videos. So, sometimes you want to just maybe go back and watch or do a little refresher to get some ideas and to make sure that you're kind of screening appropriately and following those recommendations. You can go back at any time to our website and go right under to see those previously recorded webinars as well as training videos. And there they'll take you directly to the YouTube channel where you can see a plethora of different training videos, as well as get some information on those screening tools. Additionally, as you can see on the screen, there is a little bit of information there on this summer webinar series. So every time there is an upcoming related series, webinar, or just training video, they will always be uploaded here to the Toolkit website as well. So if you're looking for some training opportunities and you're maybe unsure where to go, you can always come back to this screen here and take a look and see what's coming up. Here we have the information for each of the webinar series sessions that are coming up this month, and as well as next month and a little bit of August, as well as registration links for our developmental screening office hours. And office hours are also a wonderful way to combine the toolkit and get some information and ask those questions in an informal way. So maybe if you're using the toolkit and you're implementing some of the things that are inside of that, and you have some questions about it, but don't necessarily feel like you need to have a whole training done, or you need to have a whole session, you can come into our monthly office hours and ask questions related to the topic, or pretty much just anything that you have a question about. And those happen on the first Tuesday of every month at 12 p.m. And you can go on the website and register for them at any time. And lastly, here we have the contact information for me. If you have any questions, you want to get the process started of implementing the developmental screening toolkit in your practice with your team, or maybe you just want to know some things yourself. So just want to make sure that you are aware that the toolkit is great, great, great for teams, and for providers, clinics, that kind of setting. But also if you just want to get some of those components from the toolkit for individual use, for trainings, we can also do that too. Just please email me at devscreen@la.gov at any time, and also use this QR code to the left of your screen to access the toolkit at any time. I hope and some of this information has been helpful and you have learned a little bit about an amazing resource that can definitely assist your practice, providers that you may know of who are looking to implement screenings to increase those rates. I thank you all so, so much for taking some time out to get this information. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm just going to check the chat real quick to see if there are any questions that you may have. And if not, please make sure to, I don't see any questions. Awesome. Maybe let's look over here as well. Please make sure to fill out the evaluation that's going to pop up at the end of the session. And that evaluation will also be the way that we can get you your CE or CME credit. And I thank you all so, so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.